Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we have the new titanium frame lock KIZER October. Now, it originally came in micarta. You can get it in black micarta or red micarta, and it was a liner lock with a steel liner lock. This is a titanium frame lock in 20 CV. Beautiful micro milling all over the handle. Like I said, we have two different versions. Now, this one has a heavier blast on the micro milling and a stonewashed blacked out blade. We have a brass pivot collar, and we'll talk more about this clip here in a second, but we have a deep carry clip, not reversible. Now, we have multiple forms of deployment. You have the reverse flick, and you have the flipper tab. Now, this one has a pretty stout detent. This one is not as stiff. I don't think there's a burr around the detent hole. That's what I originally thought. I thought there was maybe a burr around the detent hole. But I think it's just the lock bar pressure is a little bit stronger on this one. This one has a really, really good detent for the reverse flick, thumb flick, or the flipper tab. Now, this one's lock bar pressure is a little tiny bit lighter than this one. So this one, if you mess with that lock bar, it's pretty stiff. You can hear it. Now, stout detent. Luckily, it has good jimping, so it does pull back pretty good, but if you put pressure on the lock bar, it can lock you out. So that can be annoying. I could easily fix that by adjusting the lock bar strength. I did originally. I put pressure on the detent hole and on the detent in the hole and did some of this. So if there was a burr, I'm trying to knock it off. And it did get a little bit better, but like I said, I think it's just the lock bar strength, which something like that will break in over time, and it's not too bad. I'm still happy with it. So, also a quick way you can get a detent to break in, if you do notice it's a little bit rough, what you do is you can open it up just a little bit, put a little tiny pressure as soon as it pops out of the detent hole, or you can leave it in the detent hole, but apply a little small bit of pressure to the lock bar and then open and close it. And you can add more and more pressure, but you're just letting the detent ball break into the finish that's on the blade. Don't let it lock up like I just did, but try to get it to travel the whole way. And you just go back and forth, and you do that about 100 times, and it can help it break in the detent ball to the finish that's on the blade. If, you feel like it's a little bit rough on the ball. Now, as far as being left-handed, this one having the lighter detent is easier to use, is easier to flick left-handed. Now, I like to put my thumb kind of over the top right there, and it works pretty good. Or you can go down low, right where the clip's at, and get it. This one with the stouter detent is not easy to do. I've gotten it a little bit, but it's too stout to get left-handed. But this one's not bad. Now, it might not be as enjoyable as a lot of knives, though, because you don't have the lefty clip, and you do have to kind of put your fingers in a position to make it good, if that makes sense. So it might not be the best for lefties. Ergos are very comfortable on this, but a little awkward in a way. Just the design of the knife, the way it is, you don't really hold it back here because you're too far away from the blade. So you hold it like this, where you lock your middle finger behind the finger guard, whatever you want to call it, and then you have to use the choil. So it's designed to always kind of be in the choil, and that you can move back a little bit, but it's still right there in the choil, just the way the knife is designed. Pinch grips are really good with this one, opening things up. Because of the way the choil is, you can get up nice and tight to the edge for push cuts. The geometry on this is pretty good, not super thin, but it's not thick. It's just decent. geometry. It does get down relatively thin behind the edge, and the tip is slightly robust, so you are going to be able to do great utility cuts, but you're not going to have to worry about it chipping off or anything like that. You do have jimping riding up the spine of the blade, so that's going to help you lock in. This micro milling does add quite a bit of texture, especially with the blasted version. This one not being a blast, I mean, it's still blasted, it's just a lighter blast. So you have like that really heavy blasted finishes, kind of like a Sabenza, but this is lighter than that, but still it's still blasted. I'm not sure if maybe the media they used for blasting is different, or maybe it was, I don't know. I have no idea. But you can tell it is a little bit smoother compared to that one, the texturing of the blast. The lock bar, very easy to disengage, very soft, very smooth, feels very premium. The lockup, solid lockup, even when you slow roll it. Love that. Now the clip. I hope this doesn't become a running theme. It is inset with flat screws. Love to see that. However, I know a lot of you feel the probably the same way. Like, don't make this a habit, because we did that. If we notice, We Knives, all their premium knives are, I'm not going to say all, but a bunch of their premium knives use a titanium spring pocket clip, which works really, really good, but it doesn't fit the knife. It makes the knife look more budget when it could be a titanium milled clip or something, like maybe a mixture between a milled clip and a deep carry. I don't know, but this looks fine though. It's not a big deal on this one. I would just say don't make it a habit like we did, where every single one of their premium knives has a budget looking clip, even though it is a titanium clip and it's a good clip and it works great. Unless if you're going to offer the option for a milled titanium clip to buy separate or something. I don't know. But yeah, I've always liked this knife. I think I do have a full review on it if you guys do want to watch it. I tested their 20 CV on it. It didn't do too bad. You can go watch the full review on my KIZER October liner lock version. Hopefully I'll remember to put that little card up there in the corner. The edges are nicely knocked down, nicely, I would say crowned, but, kind of just rounded around the edges really nicely. The milling on the inside, there is lots. Let me see if I can get this to come up. There's lots of milling on the inside, so it does bring down the weight quite a bit. But they are flat. They're not contoured at all. They're nice flat slabs of titanium with milling on the outside and inside. So because the edges are rounded a little bit, it's still nice and comfortable. It doesn't feel like it's round or anything, but because they're flat, it's also it's going to help the blade not, spin in the hand. But since its edges are knocked down really good, it's going to be comfortable while locking in, So the satin finish looks really good. Same with the stone wash. I don't know. I don't know which one I prefer at the moment. I like them both. This one definitely has the better detent, just because this one's a little bit too stout, like I said. But that'll break in, so it's not that big of a deal. Very well done, though. Very, very well done. You can see the steel lock bar insert. We do have T8 hardware, T6 on the clip. Love that lock bar access, man. That's just so comfortable to disengage. This one's much easier to slow roll. I did oil both of these, so they do feel, I will say this too. Sorry about my chair, guys. Maybe not so much this one. I don't know. But I can tell the detent ball needs to break into the finish of the blade. These are not like fall shut action. They're still nice and smooth, you know, drop shutty. They're drop shutty, but they're not like drop shut action. They're not fall shut action. They're just drop shutty, right? But I can feel ever so slightly, I can feel a little tiny bit of the detent rolling on the finish of the blade. That will break in 100%, you know, over 100, 150 flips or so. Some of you guys are probably saying, you've already flipped it 150 times since you started the video. But the detent ball will break in over a short amount of time. Kind of a cool pattern on here, right? Where it's not the same. Like a lot of milling has the exact same pattern all the way across. This, I wonder if they're the same on both of these. They probably are. Yeah. Yeah. But like it's kind of sporadic. And I kind of like that. I think that's pretty cool. Anyways, I just had to show you guys these really quick. So I'll link everything I can down in the description. I'm honestly not even positive if these are available yet. If they are, you'll see them linked down in the description. If not, you know, you can check my Hobby Outdoors, save 10% off by using my discount code. I think they're available on, I don't know. Let me just check really quick. Screw it.